Hello everyone, welcome to the study guide on the novel The English Teacher. Introduction. The English Teacher by R.K. Narayan, first published in 1945, is a poignant story that blends elements of romance, tragedy, and spirituality. It's considered semi-autobiographical, reflecting some of Narayan's personal experiences. The novel is set in the fictional town of Malgudi and follows the life of Krishna, an English teacher. Plot: Early life and career. Krishna, the protagonist, is an English teacher at the Albert Mission College in Malgudi. His life is routine and uneventful, marked by a mundane job and a detached existence. He lives in the college hostel, somewhat isolated from his wife and daughter, who reside with his parents-in-law in a different town. Reunion with family. The novel takes a turn when Krishna's wife Sushila and their daughter Leela move to Malgudi to live with him. This reunion transforms Krishna's life, bringing joy and a deeper sense of purpose. He finds immense happiness in the domestic bliss of family life and in his interactions with Leela. Tragedy strikes. The idyllic life is short-lived, however. Sushila contracts typhoid after moving into a new house. Her illness is severe, and despite receiving medical treatment, she passes away. This tragedy leaves Krishna devastated, struggling to cope with his loss and the responsibility of raising Leela alone. Spiritual awakening. In his grief, Krishna turns to spirituality and the mystical. He starts attending seances in an attempt to communicate with Sushila's spirit. These experiences lead him to question his previous materialistic outlook and to seek a deeper understanding of life and death. The quest for inner peace. Krishna's journey of self-discovery involves exploring various philosophical and spiritual teachings. He delves into meditation and introspection, seeking solace and answers to his existential questions. Transformation and resolution. The latter part of the novel sees Krishna undergoing a significant transformation. He resigns from his teaching position, choosing to dedicate himself to the upbringing of his daughter and to his spiritual pursuits. The novel ends with Krishna achieving a sense of peace and understanding, having reconciled his inner turmoil and found a new path in life. Themes: Search for meaning. Krishna's quest. The protagonist Krishna initially leads a life that is routine and unremarkable. This journey becomes a metaphor for the human search for meaning, especially after facing personal tragedy. Transformation through tragedy. The loss of his wife Sushila propels Krishna into a deeper exploration of life's purpose, moving beyond the confines of his previously mundane existence. Grief and loss. Emotional journey. The novel portrays Krishna's intense grief following the death of his wife. His emotional journey encapsulates the stages of grief from denial and to anger to eventual acceptance. Impact on identity. Krishna's identity and perspective on life are profoundly altered by his experience of loss, highlighting how grief can be a transformative force. Spiritual awakening. From material to spiritual. Post-tragedy, Krishna's focus shifts from the material aspects of life to spiritual enlightenment. This shift is depicted through his engagement with mystical practices and philosophical contemplation. Seeking connection. Krishna's attempts to communicate with his deceased wife through seances symbolize his quest for a spiritual connection that transcends physical existence. Domestic life and family. Family dynamics. The novel paints a vivid picture of domestic life and the joys and responsibilities of family. The relationship between Krishna, Sushila, and their daughter Leela is central to the narrative. Role of family in personal growth. Krishna's experiences as a husband and father play a crucial role in his personal growth, shaping his understanding of love, responsibility, and sacrifice. Education and teaching. Krishna's profession. As an English teacher, Krishna's experiences in the academic world provide insight into the educational system and its impact on both teachers and students. Philosophy of education. The novel delves into the idea of what true education means. Krishna's transformation leads to a re-evaluation of his role as a teacher, where he begins to see education as a tool for nurturing holistic and spiritually aware individuals. Characters. Krishna, the central figure. Krishna, an English teacher at Albert Mission College, is the novel's protagonist. His character embodies the journey from a routine, somewhat superficial existence to a deeper, more spiritually aware life. Inner transformation. Throughout the novel, Krishna undergoes significant changes. Initially content with his mundane life, the loss of his wife becomes a catalyst for his spiritual awakening and search for meaning. Complexity and growth. Krishna is portrayed as a complex character whose experiences, reflections, and relationships shape his understanding of life, love, and spirituality. Sushila, embodiment of love and loss. Sushila, Krishna's wife, is a pivotal character. Her presence in Krishna's life brings love, joy, and a sense of completeness. Her untimely death profoundly impacts Krishna, underscoring the themes of love, loss, and the transient nature of life. Symbolic significance. Sushila represents the domestic and familial bliss that Krishna initially takes for granted. Her character symbolizes the deep emotional connections that define and enrich human existence. Leela, innocence and continuity. Leela, the daughter of Krishna and Sushila, symbolizes innocence and the continuity of life. Her presence in the novel brings a sense of hope and renewal. Krishna's anchor. Post Sushila's death, Leela becomes a crucial anchor in Krishna's life. She represents a responsibility that keeps him grounded and connected to the world, even as he delves into spiritual exploration. Other characters. Colleagues and students. Krishna's interactions with his colleagues and students at the college provide insights into his character and his professional life. They also reflect the broader social and educational context of the time. Spiritual guides. These characters play a significant role in Krishna's journey towards spiritual awakening. They introduce him to new ideas and practices, guiding his search for deeper meaning and understanding. Symbolism. The house, symbol of transition. The house in the novel is not just a physical setting, but also a symbol of the different phases of Krishna's life. Initially, it represents the joy and fulfillment of domestic life when Sushila and Leela move in with Krishna. Site of tragedy and transformation. Following Sushila's illness and subsequent death, the house becomes a symbol of loss and grief. It transforms from a space of familial bliss to one of profound sorrow, reflecting the impermanence of happiness, and the inevitability of change in life. Reflecting inner turmoil, the changes in the house and Krishna's relationship with it mirror his inner turmoil and evolving perspective on life, underscoring the connection between our physical environments and emotional states. Spiritual practices. Search for the ethereal. Krishna's engagement with spiritual practices following Sushila's death symbolizes his quest for meaning beyond the tangible material world. It represents his shift from a secular to a more spiritual understanding of life. Bridge between worlds. The sciences and other mystical practices Krishna adopts in an attempt to communicate with Sushila symbolize the thin line between the physical and spiritual realms. They reflect his desire to maintain a connection with his lost wife, signifying the human longing for continuity after loss. Path to self-realization. These practices also represent Krishna's path to self-realization and inner peace, illustrating how spiritual exploration can be a means of coping with grief and finding deeper meaning in life. Leela's schooling, indicator of change in philosophy. Leela's schooling becomes a symbol of Krishna's changing philosophy on education and life. Initially, he is content with the traditional rote learning system. However, as he evolves, he begins to question the efficacy and purpose of such education. New beginnings and hope. Leela's education also symbolizes new beginnings and hope. Krishna's interest in her holistic development represents his newfound understanding of education as a tool for nurturing well-rounded, spiritually aware individuals. Link to the future. Through Leela's schooling, Krishna projects his aspirations for a more enlightened and meaningful future, both for his daughter and society at large. It symbolizes his desire to impart values that transcend conventional education. Literary devices, imagery, enhancing narrative depth. Narayan uses vivid imagery to bring the settings and events of the novel to life. Descriptions of the college, Krishna's home, the town of Malgudi, and the natural surroundings provide a tangible sense of place and atmosphere. Emotional resonance. The use of imagery also helps to convey the emotional states of the characters, particularly Krishna. For instance, the depiction of the house and its changing state mirrors Krishna's emotional journey through love, loss, and grief. Cultural context. Imagery is used to depict the cultural milieu of the setting, providing readers with a visual understanding of the life in a mid-20th century Indian town. Foreshadowing. Hinting at future events, Narayan subtly uses foreshadowing to hint at future developments in the story, particularly regarding Sushila's health. Early mentions of her illness and the condition of their new home suggest impending tragedy. Building suspense and expectation. This device serves to build suspense and prepare the reader for significant events, creating a sense of inevitability and deepening the impact of these events when they occur. Irony. Contrast in Krishna's roles. There is a notable irony in Krishna's role as a teacher who imparts knowledge to others while he himself is on a journey of learning and self-discovery. This irony highlights the dichotomy between academic teaching and the lessons learned from life experiences. Re-evaluation of human nature. The irony in the novel often reveals deeper truths about human nature, societal norms, and the complexities of life. It underscores the idea that true wisdom often comes from personal experience and introspection, not just formal education. Symbolism, deepening thematic understanding. Narayan uses symbolism throughout the novel to add layers of meaning to the narrative. Symbols like the house, spiritual practices, and Leela schooling enrich the themes of transformation, spiritual awakening, and the search for meaning. Reflecting inner changes. Symbolism is also key in reflecting Krishna's internal changes and evolving worldview. The shift in his perception of his surroundings and his role in life is mirrored through various symbolic elements in the novel. Narrative style, simplicity and clarity. Narayan is renowned for his straightforward and clear narrative style, which makes the story accessible and engaging. Despite this simplicity, the prose is richly evocative, capturing the nuances of the characters' experiences and the setting. Focus on internal experiences. A significant feature of the narrative style is its focus on Krishna's internal experiences. The reader is given intimate access to his thoughts, emotions, and transformations. This introspective approach allows for a deep exploration of themes like grief, self-discovery, and spiritual awakening. Balancing external realities. Alongside the internal focus, the narrative also effectively depicts the internal realities of Krishna's life. This includes his interactions with other characters, his professional life as a teacher, and his day-to-day activities in Malgudi. This balance between the internal and external adds depth to the character of Krishna and grounds the story in a relatable context. Evocative descriptions. Narayan's use of imagery and evocative descriptions enhances the narrative. The settings, events, and mundane details of life in Malgudi are rendered vividly, contributing significantly to the novel's atmosphere and emotional impact. Structure. Linear progression. The novel follows a linear structure charting Krishna's life from his role as an English teacher through his personal tragedy to his subsequent spiritual journey. This chronological progression makes it easy to follow Krishna's development and understand the changes he undergoes. Reflecting life stages. The structure mirrors the stages of Krishna's life, symbolizing the journey from youth and naivety through hardship and sorrow to maturity and wisdom. Each phase of his life introduces new challenges and learnings, contributing to his overall transformation. Integration of key events. The novel's structure effectively integrates key events from domestic happiness to tragic loss and from despair to spiritual enlightenment. These events are not just plot points but serve as catalysts for Krishna's inner growth. Closure and continuity. The conclusion of the novel brings a sense of closure to Krishna's immediate journey, while also suggesting a continuity in his quest for meaning and understanding. This structure allows the novel to end on a note that is both conclusive and open-ended, reflecting the ongoing nature of life's journey. Conclusion. This study guide provides a framework for a comprehensive understanding of the English teacher, encouraging in-depth discussions and analysis of its narrative, themes, and characters. The novel's exploration of life's deeper meanings and the transformation of the protagonist makes it a profound and enduring work in Indian literature. So this was the study guide on the novel The English Teacher. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other novel. Until then, goodbye and thank you.